Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Louis Daylights Photography. I'm your host, I'm your pal, Louis Daylights. Welcome to another episode. We're kind of shifting around into different topics each week. I think that's healthy. We are still primarily a photography channel that explores shooting analog and digital, but I feel like there's so many other areas that are helpful to photographers that I don't want to leave things out that I think are valuable. So in this episode, we're going to be discussing a photo shoot outdoors at night with a client that's not a model, that has family with her, and we're in the middle of downtown in the evening on a Friday night, possibly. In this episode, we'll be discussing all those matters and how we can survive an outdoor shoot in the jungle that is called the city. Stay tuned. So if you're a photographer and you've shot outdoors at night in downtown, what are some of the things that can take place? Go into your mind, remember that time, that exactly. Those are the things that can happen. I've been shooting for quite a long time. I've been shooting with clients who are models. I've been shooting with clients who are not models. I've been shooting with all kinds of people in all kinds of locations, and I feel like I have enough knowledge to share with you today. What are the be carefuls and the watch out fors when it comes to shooting outdoors at night in the downtown area where anything could happen? So the location was chosen by the client. She had seen some photographs that I'd taken of another client. She really liked the nighttime outdoor evening kind of vibe of our city here in Springfield. There's this area where there's some bars and some restaurants, and it's kind of a little concentrated area of nightlife pretty much any night of the week. They've got some lighting out in the street and it's pretty cool, but it is very saturated with many different people and all kinds of activity. So in planning ahead, what can you do? Well, you want to have a game plan. You want to know that there are going to be things that are going to happen that you need to prepare yourself mentally for. So as a photographer, I know that we have to deal with people coming out of the bar, right? Sometimes there are guys, they get a little frisky, they think it's funny. There are photographers out there shooting with a young lady. They get impulsive, they want to say things, they want to pull out their phone and they want to film. It really depends in the ambiance and the vibe that you're trying to maintain, because you have to keep your client cool, calm, and collected, relaxed, and feeling beautiful. And you can't just attack these guys and tell them, that they're not nice by pulling out their phone and making them feel awkward. That's a whole video that we can do. But your goal as a photographer is to diffuse and continue moving forward. And how do you diffuse? You say, hey guys, this is a Sweet 16 shoot. She's a young lady. She's nervous. Give us a break. They might say, hey, go F yourself, or they might say, hey, no problem. What I normally do is I stop and I don't continue until we've got them moving on, or we've established that they're acting like creeps. Hey, listen, you're coming off as a creep a little bit. Keep it moving. I've had to do that. I've had to also confront people because they, in your face, want to just film and they see a pretty girl, but I'm working here. And I got to make sure that my client is cool, calm, and collected. So I'll get in the way. It'll be a confrontational moment. Definitely not fun for anyone involved, but I handle my business and then I turn around and I then go back and reassure my client and say, this kind of stuff. And often you want to prepare them in advance for that kind of activity. In this case, for my photo shoot, my client was having a Sweet 16 photo shoot because during the lockdowns of COVID last year, she was not able to have a quinceañero photo shoot, which is with the dress and the whole thing. And she wanted to really celebrate herself because she's an accomplished, I believe she plays, I don't want to get this wrong, but she plays a sport in her school, and she's a dancer, and she's got good grades, and her parents and her family were very proud of her. She did not mind the attention from people on the street. People were shouting things at her, driving by and whistling and things like that. She was okay with it, so we kept it moving. It was fine. And she had, okay, so we'll get into the next aspect of this. She came with family. She had like 4 aunts, a couple of cousins. Her mom was in there somewhere. I believe her grandma showed up at some point, and it was a constant like primping. They'd jump in to primp her outfit, or they tell her, raise your chin after I told her lower your chin. They tell her fold your hands, raise your finger, do this, do that. And they were directing off from the sidelines for the first 25-30 minutes. And then I said, guys, you got to give me some room to handle my business here because you're making her nervous and confused. And there were a couple times where she was like, he just told me to do this and you're telling me to do the opposite. So, that, but they were nice family. They were really cool family, and they just wanted their princess to look beautiful. And that's all they were trying to do. But they realized that they were being a little extra, and then they chilled out a little bit. Once I took a few shots, I showed it to them. They were more comfortable to let me direct. Thank God. Guys, if you haven't done so already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. We have a lot of content that's meant to be helpful for photographers, amateurs, and professional. I'd hope that you'd hit the notification bell, stay connected with my channel, because this is self-love for me, and the way that I receive love is giving it to you first. So another rule of shooting outdoors at night when you're dealing with the elements of a community who might be rambunctious and cars driving by and all kinds of things that are going to be taking place is don't work alone. Bring an assistant if you can. Bring 2 if you can. I brought one guy. My one guy is Matthew. Matthew is a great designer. He's working with me on a magazine. At the same time, he's a great photographer and he shoots videography. He's been doing this for quite a long time. Whenever I need an assistant or I need some help, I always tap his shoulder, and luckily he was able to come with me this evening for this. And so his job was look out for cars if we're shooting in the street. I asked him also to shoot some behind the scenes footage. He's guarding my 6. He's making sure that everything that's going on around me while I'm shooting and focusing on the technical aspect of this photo shoot, that he's able to kind of keep an eye out for anything else and give me a heads up if something's happening. So don't work alone. That's really important. Bring a friend along to watch your back.
Well, miss, I guess I'll be on my way now. You just give me a...
than anything, I think this young girl wanted to have fun. She did have fun, even though her family was chiming in and constantly interrupting and getting in her face and not frustrating me, but potentially if you're not experienced in this area, you could be frustrated and it could affect your work. I had a good time because I realized she was having fun. That was all really that mattered. It was more about her having fun and maybe some shots at the end, but she really felt like a princess in her dress, walking around town, having people hollering and hooting at her. And hey, that made her happy. So we just kept rolling. Be nice. Be nice to your clients. I know that I'm going to book a whole bunch of other work because I was nice to mom. I know I'll get more work from her. I know that her cousin who was on location said, man, you're awesome. I want to do this with you. And so the way that you behave and the way that you manage your set, it's going to really, really develop more work for you. If a parent sees that you're going nuts and you're not having a good time, that's the last time they book you. You know, they're not going to refer you to anybody. Be nice. It's worth it. Overall, because I have the experience and I had Matthew with me to back me up, I had a good time. The shoot was fine. We stayed within the time frame. The dad tipped Matthew, right? So it was a beautiful thing that we had a good time on this set. Everyone kept their cool. Everyone kept their composure. We had a fun time. And this is the way that it should work.